Hey guys, this is Recidivate, and before we get to the topic that I have today, I just want to talk a little bit about the gameplay. So, you guys would know that all of my gameplays so far have been solo. However, I wanted to change it up this time. So, a few days ago, a bunch of my friends decided to get together and they wanted to start up a ground war lobby. And I'm like, you know what guys, you guys know me, I can get a bunch of MOABs solo. So, if you guys would put on support, maybe I can try to get like a, triple or a quad. That never happened, first of all. I never even got close. But, it was a good experience nonetheless. There really wasn't much support being used. You'll see it in this. I had like one ballistic vest the entire game because there was two people running support. And they were using UAV, ballistic vest, and then like EMP. So, as you can see, even though I told them that I wanted them to use UAV and ballistic vest and that's it, they thought it'd be necessary to throw on EMP. That way I'd only get one ballistic vest a game. It was bad, but I mean, it was still a good experience nonetheless. I really much enjoyed it. And this was the first match that I'd ever played with a full team. And it's the only time that I've gotten a MOAB. This gameplay, I get like 73 kills specialist with the PP90 on Underground. And I do get one MOAB. It was decently fast, but that's for me. I think it was around 2.5 to 3 minutes or so, maybe a little bit longer, and it was kind of like a double/triple MOAB fail. I did have a few nice streaks on this, but that's about it for the gameplay. Like I said, I'm not going to change my channel into support because I did try it. Like, the next day, I'm like, let me just invite a bunch of randoms and stuff and see if they'll run support for me, and I did get a full team going, but the only thing is, I did absolutely terrible. And, they were supportive, because I had said that I'd never done it before, and I just kind of wanted to try it. And they were supportive. They're like, you know what, dude, it was a good experience. And, they were just kind of happy that they got to play with someone who actually has a YouTube, even if I'm not that big. And it was really fun to meet other people. But I am so bad. People always criticize people, like, oh, that gameplay would have been good, but you're using support. Well, seriously, it's hard. Maybe it's because I have terrible gun skill, or maybe it's because my connection, but it was just not working for me. I'm just going to go ahead and stick to solo stuff. I just kind of wanted to throw in this gameplay because it did break my record for most kills with specialists for me. I know, 73 is not a lot, but, it's a record for me, and I'm very happy to represent that. But anyways, onto the topic today. This was just kind of something I read today online, and I don't know why I decided to talk about it. It just felt like it was like pretty good to talk about it. So, recently, the FDA, also known as the Food and Drug Administration, are reporting 5 reported deaths that are dealing with Monster energy drinks. So, it all started by a 14-year-old girl from Riverside, California, who had died after drinking 2 24-ounce Monster energy drinks in 24 hours. An autopsy concluded that she died of cardiac arrhythmia due to caffeine toxicity, and the medical examiner also found that she had an inherited disorder that could weaken blood vessels. And although she has that disorder, the child's parents, of course, claim that Monster had failed to warn the risks of drinking its products. So, that's kind of a valid point, but there's labels on the cans that state that the drinks are not recommended for children and people who are sensitive to caffeine. So, and really, 2 drinks in 24 hours, that'd be 48 ounces of Monster Energy in 24 hours. That's not a lot at all. So, it is kind of a surprise that she had died, but if you think about it, the drink's been out for quite a long time now. So, for 5 people to just die, I don't know. I feel like there's a missing link to it, based on there had to be something wrong with that person in the first place. Now, I don't mean that as in like, in a type of disrespectful way, but, they had to have had some kind of disorder that, had led to it. Obviously, this person had an inherited disorder that can weaken blood vessels, so, that would link to her death. But, I would see how you'd want to blame Monster. Now, I don't know the whole story as to whether or not this 14-year-old girl is used to drinking Monster, and then just after a while, her you know, something happened in her body, or if it was just she never really drank Monster and she decided to drink 2 of them in one day and just kind of died. I don't know the whole story to it, but you know, it is kind of surprising. But like I said, for 5 people to die after the drink's been out for like quite a few years, it just seems a little bit useless to kind of come out now and say that Monster Energy is killing. So that's my thoughts on the map. However, it's important that it gets checked out. The on the rising. So if this is going to become an issue,
then we might not see energy drinks anymore. And what would that mean to people who are completely addicted to energy drinks? That would be absolutely terrible. I mean, those people would be just, they wouldn't know what to do. So it would be disappointing to them. I mean, it's kind of like cutting off coffee, but if you think about it, you know, if you have something wrong with you already and you're sensitive to caffeine and you drink Monster, that's like having diabetes and deciding that you want to cover everything in salt and stuff. So it just seems kind of stupid, you know, if you have a disorder that would mean pretty much that you couldn't have that drink or that product, then why would you have it in the first place? I mean, I can understand why the parents would be mad. I mean, their child, who, you know, they raised, obviously. They didn't adopt it. Well, they could have, but, yeah, let's not go there. It just seems weird that it'd become this much of an issue, because they know that there's a bunch of people out there that drink Monster every day. So if their child died from it, I don't see what the big deal is. Like, based on the world around them, Monster's not a problem. It was just a problem to that person based on their disorder that they had, that she had inherited. I mean, maybe she shouldn't have had the Monster, because Monster probably did kill her. The only thing is, she had a disorder. Now, that's the only one they had talked about on the website, which was MSN, by the way. So, you know, it's not like it was a shady website or anything like that. It was MSN, and they had talked about it. There was some guy named Matthew or whatever who had wrote a nice little article on it, and I read the whole thing, and it was, that's pretty much what I got out of it. But, I mean, my prayers go out to their family. I mean, I know it's going to be hard, especially when, you know, you gotta have to explain, like, oh, my daughter died because she drank an energy drink because she had a disorder that made it so she wouldn't be allowed to have an energy drink, but she decided to drink 2 of them in 24 hours and that killed her. I know, that sounded very disrespectful, and in no ways did that mean to be disrespectful, but that's just how I read the article. I could be completely wrong, so don't take my word for it, but when I read the article, that's what I got out of it. So, yeah, I mean, if you guys want to go ahead and leave your thoughts on that, you can go ahead and put that in the comments. But, like, is this going to change your thoughts on Monster Energy and just energy drinks in general? I mean, the energy drink they were talking about is Monster. There have been no reported deaths from other ones at this time, like around this part of time here. So, you know, maybe other ones are good and that one and Monster's the only bad one. I don't know. But if you guys are, like, you know, really, really into Monster, tell me what you guys think. Like, is this going to change your mind? Because I know that for me, it wouldn't change my mind based on the fact that, you know, if it is that I really do drink Monster a lot, which I don't, it's very high in sugar and I'm actually on a diet. So, you know, as you can see, that kind of causes some implications there. But if I were to drink Monster every day and have pretty much no problems, then to hear that 5 people died from it really wouldn't change my mind. And that's just my thoughts on it. Obviously, if that were my child and they had died because of it, it'd be a completely different story and I would totally boycott it. But coming from a kind of outside source and being like a third-person view type thing going on, really, to me, it doesn't seem like that big of a deal. I am glad, though, that the FDA is, you know, involving themselves in it, because maybe there is something seriously wrong, and, you know, maybe it's not just in their heads. I mean, whatever though. Like I said, if you guys think any differently, or if you guys agree with me or whatever, just leave some comments, and we'll go from there. And a couple days, I'll be coming up with another story to talk about, and I do believe the next story is going to be the time that I had my toenail came off. That was pretty bad. I'm sure you guys will enjoy that story though when it comes out. But this gameplay only has a little over a minute left, so I just kind of want to talk about support a little more. You know, it really is tough. People don't realize it. Jay Nasty talked about it in one of his videos. He's like, yeah, you know, people always criticize me for using support, but I mean, really, I work my ass off. He's like, you know, I get quads and pentas, and most people that use support would, you know, easily get one, which I did easily get one. They probably easily get two too. Well, I didn't get two, but whatever. And you know, he's saying triples and quads and pentas are ridiculously hard. So, I mean, whatever. I got one MOAB. I'm happy. That's all I've ever gotten using support, and I've really only used support for about 2.5 hours. So, I mean, hey, if you guys want to run support for me, then feel free. But I'm probably not going to be able to really get that many MOABs. I mean, the game is over. That's why I had figured that I would, you know, try to run with a full team of support and stuff. You know, not really trying to like get a ridiculous gameplay that get